Korea's most well-known monster not all that frightening?
100만 명의 구독자를 보유한 해외 유튜버 스토리드. 그녀는 아시아 각국의 전설 속 괴물들을 조사하던 중 문득 한 가지 의문을 갖습니다. 일본의 오니, 중국의 요괴, 유럽의 트롤은 모두 인간을 겁에 질리게 하는 무시무시한 존재들인데 왜 한국의 괴물, 도깨비만큼은 전혀 무섭지 않을까라고 말이죠. 어딘가 친근하고 때로는 인간에게 복까지 주는 존재 한국의 도깨비. 그녀는 이 수수께끼 같은 도깨비의 정체를 밝히기 위해 한국의 오래된 설화와 문헌 그리고 현대문화 속 도깨비를 깊이 파고들기 시작합니다. 그리고 마침내 한국 도깨비의 숨겨진 비밀을 밝혀내게 되죠. 궁금하시죠? 지금부터 영상으로 전해드리겠습니다.
Why is Korea's most well-known monster not all that frightening? Dokkaebi can cause misfortune or make you rich, but rarely is fear used to teach a lesson or make a point. The earliest written record of Dokkaebi shows up in a collection of Korean history, religion, and literature compiled by a Buddhist monk in the 13th century. The memorabilia of the Three Kingdoms represents a much longer oral history and includes multiple mentions of the Dokkaebi, portraying them as monsters but not evil. One story that includes them goes back to around the 6th century. While the Dokkaebi and K-pop demon hunters are imagined as monstrous adversaries, a clear and present threat to the heroes, this portrayal differs from their ancient roots, where Dokkaebi aren't always predator-like. Dokkaebi are traditionally believed to possess immense supernatural powers. In some traditions, they can bless humans with good harvests, abundant catches, and great fortune, even acting as protectors against evil spirits. Yet, depending on the region, folklore also warns that Dokkaebi may cause misfortune, bringing fires or spreading disease. So why were they sometimes harmful, but could also bring good fortune? For most of Korea's history, people lived in farming communities, particularly vulnerable to swings of fate that could bring droughts, floods, and famine. The Dokkaebi's personality mirrors this reality, where fortune could bless or curse you overnight, and their existence might help explain if someone had preternatural abilities or talents, or a sudden windfall. It could be that the Dokkaebi are helping them out. There are legends of Dokkaebi building reservoirs to provide humans with more stable fishing waters. In this way, the Dokkaebi are a cultural reflection of life's uncertainty. It was a reminder that prosperity and disaster were never far apart. In many tales, the Dokkaebi's supernatural powers include magical items. Some sport a magical hat that renders them invisible. But their most popular accessory is a magic club, kind of like a magical wand. It can turn anything into gold, and or stretch out your body parts uncomfortably, but that's less fun. In a story first recorded in the 9th century, a kind woodsman harvesting ginkgo nuts for his family seeks shelter overnight from a storm in a remote cabin. He finds himself awoken by a raucous Dokkaebi party. Each monster has a club that makes food and drink miraculously appear. The woodsman, faced with an unexpected opportunity, steals one of the clubs and carries it home, becoming a wealthy man. The woodsman finds he is rewarded for seizing an opportunity of fortune to provide for his family, but when a selfish neighbor attempts to steal a club, the Dokkaebi attack. Confucianism has been an important and influential aspect of Korean culture for hundreds of years, and the Dokkaebi stories are often read through the lens of this philosophy. Confucianism is less about gods or an afterlife, and more about how humans should live well together. It stresses order and respect. Confucianism teaches the value of good deeds that will bring fortune, while bad character leads to downfall. Moral codes from Confucianism are interpreted in stories of the Dokkaebi. For instance, the story of the two woodcutters is a warning against greed that comes from a place of selfishness and emphasizes the responsibilities younger generations have for their family, which are important Confucian values. Notably, Dokkaebi are not particularly intelligent, and it's easy to trick them. This is a surprisingly important element to the legend. In Korean tradition, cleverness and intelligence are highly valued, and outwitting a Dokkaebi was a key to defeating it. In one story, a desperate widow in need of money decides to try her luck with the Dokkaebi. Knowing that they supposedly love buckwheat jelly, she uses the last of her funds to purchase a massive amount of buckwheat. She makes the jelly and sets a bowl outside, then waits. It was gone the next day. She continues to put out bowls of jelly, luring the monster closer and closer until he's forced to come to her doorstep. The next night, she asks the Dokkaebi to join her inside for a feast. Driven by hunger and her innocent pleading, he obliges. The following day, they dine together again. But this time he rewards her for her kindness with a pouch of jewels and coins, returning every few days until the widow was very rich and very bored of the Dokkaebi. She hatches a plan to stop his visits. Dokkaebi don't like blood or horse heads, so she smears horse blood all over her gate and places a decapitated head outside. After discovering the grisly trophy, the Dokkaebi never returns. The widow was able to provide a comfortable living for herself with some ingenuity, a bit of risk, and good hospitality. Again, all admirable traits to have. After World War II and liberation from Japan, the Korean government banned outside media and cultural imports, an act primarily aimed at curtailing Japanese influence. Despite that effort, comics and films depicting Japanese oni found their way into South Korean culture, where oni-inspired representations of Dokkaebi influenced children's books, manga, and anime. The oni look similar to the Dokkaebi, horned with brightly colored skin and 2 long teeth. They're associated with punishment, disease, and even death. So perhaps the Oni legend influenced the Dokkaebi lore, making them a little more sinister. Though some folklores are divided on that. While they may look similar, the Oni are cruel, unlike the feisty and relatively harmless Dokkaebi. South Korean pop culture has increasingly been inspired by supernatural and folklore-based narratives, which is one of the reasons why video games, musicals, films, children's books, and TV series incorporating Dokkaebi are everywhere, many of which engage in social critique. In the popular 2016 South Korean drama The Lonely and Great God, a handsome and helpful 900-plus-year-old Dokkaebi enters into a doomed relationship with a human who can communicate with ghosts and other spirits. It honors Korean history while speaking to modern problems. Like in K-pop Demon Hunters, where the challenges of fitting in and finding one's true identity are explored through human and non-human characters. The filmmakers stated that they wanted to showcase Korea and its impressive array of folklore and mythology, and the Dokkaebi are part of the troupe of otherworldly creatures that explain the movie's backstory. It's both an homage and an invitation to learn more. The shift from agents of wealth or misfortune to monsters in K-pop Demon Hunters demonstrates the adaptable nature of the Dokkaebi legend. But the biggest takeaway? Dokkaebi embodies embracing unpredictability, humor, and resilience. Something we could all probably do with a little more of.
이처럼 한국의 도깨비 설화는 단순히 괴이한 존재가 아니라 우리 조상들의 세계관과 삶의 철학이 응축된 문화적 산물입니다. 도깨비는 인간처럼 감정이 있고 복과 재앙을 동시에 다루며 예측할 수 없는 운명의 상징으로 등장하니까요. 그러나 중요한 점은 그 예측 불가능함을 두려움이 아닌 유머와 재치로 받아들였다는 데 있습니다. 도깨비는 인간에게 해를 끼칠 수도 있지만 마음이 착한 자에게는 복을 주고 욕심과 거짓을 꾸짖는 존재로 여겨졌죠. 즉, 도깨비는 두려움의 대상이 아니라 균형의 상징이었습니다. 그들은 인간과 신의 경계 어딘가에서 선과 악, 복과 화를 동시에 줄 수 있는 존재였으니까요. 이러한 양면성은 삶의 깊이를 이해하고자 했던 조상들의 철학적 사유에서 비롯됐습니다. 하지만 근대 이후 일본의 오니 문화가 한국으로 유입되면서 도깨비의 원형적 의미는 조금씩 왜곡되기 시작했습니다. 오니는 벌과 재앙, 그리고 죽음의 상징으로 인간을 공포로 제압하는 존재입니다. 그 영향으로 도깨비 역시 점차 무섭고 사악한 괴물의 모습으로 재해석되었죠. 본래 인간적인 약점을 가진 장난스럽고 풍자적인 존재였던 도깨비가 서양의 악마나 오니와 비슷한 이미지로 소비되는 것은 한국 설화의 본질을 흐리게 하기에 반드시 시정돼야 하는 점이라 생각되는데요. 여러분께서는 어떻게 생각하시나요? 오늘 전해드린 이야기도 흥미로우셨다면 좋아요와 구독 부탁드립니다. 여러분의 관심과 응원이 이 채널을 움직이는 가장 큰 힘이랍니다. 늘 함께 해주셔서 진심으로 감사드리며 앞으로도 위대한 언니 채널과 함께 해주세요. 감사합니다.